What's up, everybody? This is Cece from Sound on the Hill, Sound Everywhere, and today I am here with
Pharaoh Saint. You already know.
What's up, Pharaoh Saint?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. It's been overdue. This is something that's been needing to happen for a minute. This is further than we're gonna do it on IG Live. No. We had to do something like this. Actually, get real creative with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so tell me what's been up with you lately?
Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for doing this. Like I said, it's way overdue. We've known each other about what, 3 years? And in
it's been about 3 years.
Like, it's been a journey with me and you. So like, man, like, just the way that we met, it was meant to be. And like I said, I just tell people, like, she like a seatbelt, saved my life. Like, when I met her, boom, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, God was like, and boom, there you go. Here she is right there.
Well, you know, with all artists, like, I try to be as organic as possible and really acknowledge people as an artist, you know, because I think that's the most important thing that creatives want when it comes to building their brand and stuff, just to be acknowledged, just for people to show love to the efforts that they're putting in to make it to wherever they want to be. And I definitely see you doing that all the time when it comes to your music. And, you know, you just putting in the work and being creative in your own way with all of your projects. I really appreciate that as a supporter and a listener.
Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate it because you think about the smaller people and the bigger people. It ain't just like, oh, okay, this person popping, so we're going to gravitate to them. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're going to, you know, then the underdogs like us, you know, it's like, we ain't got nobody supporting us or this, that, and the other, so.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be separated.
Not at all, nah.
Because, I mean, if you're creative, you're creative. If you're good, you're good. If you got it, you got it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people misconstrue, I guess, people's caliber.
Yeah.
I know they look at these artists on social media and things like that and feel like if they're not in that space, that they're not where they need to be, when that's not the case. Like, I don't know. It's just you have to go on at your own pace, follow your own path.
It's almost like popularity contest. If you're not popping this like that, then it's just like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? So
it's unrealistic for sure.
Very unrealistic. Even though you could have the most talent, but like I said, you get overlooked because you're not on this pedestal like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not making a song about this, making a song about that, and stuff like that. And I feel that's what separates me from everybody else, because right now I'm starting to feel like I am gaining that traction, you know, because at first it was just like, okay, this Pharaoh Saint, blah, 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 but now I feel like people are actually noticing, and they're like, hold on, this dude actually can hang with people and stuff like that. He actually can spit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
because at the same time, you have to have a certain amount of relevancy as well, even in your own creativeness, because these people who have these big names and investors and things like that are looking for different artists. They're looking for something, you know, and you may not have everything that they're looking for, but you showing an effort to, I don't want to say fit in, because that's not the right word, because I don't want you.
I ain't gonna fit in. Nah, I'm gonna be me.
Not fitting in, but really just paying attention to what the industry is looking for, in a sense, but still being yourself.
Yeah. And the industry wants, you know, they always want the next sound, and I just feel like everybody's trying to be what's already out right now. We already got a Pac, we already got a Big, we already got an NBA Youngboy, 42 Doug, Pusha. We already got enough of them, but everybody wants to be that. Like, what's going to separate you from them? That's what the industry wants. You know what I'm saying? Like a specific flow. Okay, you rap like this. This is unique. So boom, let's probably try to work with him. We can kind of like maybe model his image around NBA Youngboy. He kind of has that thug image, this, that, and the other. But what's going to separate you? And I feel like that's something like down here. Everybody wants to sound the same, like who's out right now. But not me. That's not me. I don't want to sound the same. I want to sound like me at the end of the day, because you can't recreate me.
I think it has a lot to do with vulnerability, like, because you have to put yourself out there, and it's just easier to follow what's already out there, rather than you being real with yourself and really understanding yourself as an artist. And I feel like that's where a lot of artists miss out, because they don't know who they are.
Right. They're still
and it takes time to figure out who you are. But a lot of people don't have the patience to go through those phases of figuring out who they are.
They trying to do this get rich quick thing.
Everybody's trying to do the get rich quick, and it's not about that. It's not about the money. And if you're doing it for the money,
you end up in the wrong thing.
Well, I can't say that, because, if you in it for the money, you in it for the money.
Right, yeah. Everybody want to get paid.
If you can find a way to get paid, then definitely get yours. But if it's something different, if it's really a passion for you, then focus on that passion, because that's what's going to fulfill you as an artist, as a creative, being yourself.
And since you said about finding yourself, that's something I had to do as an artist, you know what I'm saying? That one thing about me, I don't call myself a rapper, I call myself an artist. A rapper go up there, okay, hey, put your hands up, blah, 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 blah. I'm an artist. I create art, create visuals. Like, when you listen to me, I'm trying to create an experience, Like, I go up there on stage, it's like, you're going to go through these motions. We're going to start off with this song. It's going to go through the highs and the lows. Listen to my music. It's like, okay, this dude is painting art, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be like the Warhols, Michelangelo's, stuff like that, Leonardo's and stuff like that. What's my man named? Basquiat. Trying to be like that. I'm trying to create this image, So that's why I call myself an artist. I don't want to be a rapper and stuff like that. But speak on what you said earlier about people finding their image and stuff like that. Yeah, it took me a minute, because when I first started doing music, which was, I'll say about what, 7th grade, I was hanging with Big Will. He goes by Dollar now. Like, he had a studio back in Wilshire Park, stuff like that. So I would go over there, and of course it's the original setup. You had a mic in the closet, the computer outside, so and that's where everybody starts at. And we were working on a song. I did a song freestyle, and it was terrible, but like I said, that was where I found, like, okay, this is kind of what I want to do, because I've always liked music. I've always kind of was trying to remix stuff, but that was the start of, okay, let me try to do it. And as time went on, high school, I was still trying to find myself. And during high school, the hottest people out at the time was Gucci, OJ, Gotti, all that. So, of course, that's the influence. Like I said, we were talking about earlier, that's the influence that's out. So I was like, let me try to tailor my sound around them. That's not who I am. I had to go through this and that kind of stuff at the time. And like I said, that after a while, I was just like, okay, this not me. It's not my image. So I had to take some time off and figure out, who am I?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Well, time off ended up with me having like a breakdown, like a nervous breakdown of trying to figure out who I am. So, of course, during that time, like, I took time off, kind of shunned away from the world, shut away from the world, almost like how Kanye did when he made 808s. And to speak of that, that's something just wanted me to get, like, go to 808. Someone was just like, listen to Heartless. So I listened to it, and I was like, okay. And I was like, listen to the whole album now. Listen to the whole 808s and stuff like that. And I did, and that's how I became a fan of him. And that's when I was like, okay, I think I know the direction I want to go now as an artist. Like, and like I said, years went by, and like I said, I developed my sound. I was like, okay, this is who I am. Of course, I have my influences. There's nothing wrong with having influences. We all got influences. Like, say, NBAs. That's cool you listen to, but don't try to be them. Let them influence. They can influence your sound, but then create something around it to be like, okay, boom, this is what makes me unique. I might be in the same category as this person, but this is what kind of, okay, he was like a Tyler the Creator sound, but he's not Tyler the Creator. He's doing something different like that, but he's almost like it. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like who you are today, do you feel like that'll change within the next month or, a few years?
No.
Or
I'm always
you feel like you locked in with who you are right now?
Locked in
today?
All the way to the end. I'm locked in. Like, not going to change. Nah. I can't change Pharaoh Saint from who he is now because I'm different. Like I said, when you hear the music, it's like, oh, the Who Gonna Stop Me? That's different. That was different from Strange Fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like Strange Fruit was conscious at the time, and it's like Who Gonna Stop Me came out. It was like, wait, you went from, you know what I'm saying, sound like an angry black person to, God, who gonna stop me? And it's like you spitting like Kendrick Lamar now on a beat and stuff like that. So
I definitely see the difference in this new project than Strange Fruit. It's definitely a growth in your sound. I do feel like you found something within yourself that made you want to share your vulnerability with your audience and supporters. I don't know. I'm really excited about this project.
Well, not to cut you off, but fun fact about Strange Fruit. Mm-hmm. Strange Fruit wasn't even Strange Fruit when it first started. Like, Strange Fruit, actually, it was supposed to be an album. Mm-hmm. This one I was working with Tevin Keith when he was doing his recordings over there at that barbershop off, what was it, Winchester and Blue Spring, and then before he got the building that's over there on University and stuff like that.
Yeah, shout out to Tevin Keith.
Yeah, shout out to Tevin Keith, man. He shot the Who Gonna Stop Me video, by the way. Go watch both of them. Go watch both of them. But like I said, Strange Fruit was actually called A Bad Case of the Mondays. It was really supposed to be a follow-up to Our Daily Bread, which was a gospel album I made for my mom, which was on Audio Mac, and people have been following me for a while. If you remember when I was on Audio Mac, that was where I was putting all my music before I actually got on Apple, Spotify, everything else like that. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it was supposed to be A Bad Case of the Mondays. We had, I don't remember what, 7, 8 songs on it. I don't remember what it was. Cover Story 1 and 2 were on it. And I remember we got done with it. It was done. Like, every song was done. I was talking to Tevin Keith. I was like, we ought to mix and master. He was like, to be honest, you really don't need to mix and master. It sounds good. And I remember I was at the A&M gym. I just got done working out and stuff like that. And I was just like, something was just like, scrap the album. Scrap it. Just scrap. Keep those 2 songs. Scrap everything else. So I went home.
Scrapped the whole album.
Scrapped the whole album. So I scrapped it, went home, and I was like, I need to go on like a spiritual journey. So what I did was I planned 3 trips during over 3 months. The first one I went to Atlanta, spent the day in Atlanta, went to baseball games, stuff like that, finding inspiration. Second one, went to Tuskegee, see one of my friends there. We went to Montgomery to go see the National Museum of Justice and Peace. And that was a lot of the inspiration for Strange Fruit right there, just seeing and stuff like that. If you've never been, I recommend you go. That place, it's going to hit you here because you're seeing the stuff from slavery. They got the names people who were hung. They got all the old signs that, like say, no colors allowed, white zone. They got all that stuff. But that was like the main meat that created Strange Fruit. And then I finished off the journey going to Miami, spent 4 days there just escaping. And when I got back, I was like, as soon as I get back, we're starting on the album. We're going to start on Strange Fruit, the EP. We started on it. It was, like I said, going good. I was like, all right, I'm going to try to be almost like a Machiavelli type way of, hey, let's try to see if we can finish it in a month. I wasn't going to do 7 days. There ain't no way I could do 7 days, but we're going to try to finish it in a month. And it didn't go so well because it's kind of hard to finish something in a month unless you just, that guy and me, I'm a perfectionist. Like, I hear something, I'm like, nope. Don't like that. We got to re-record. It's got to sound. I got to hit it this exact way.
Got to be right.
Got to be right. Yeah. So it went from, what was it? We started in August. Went from August to September. From September to October. And what was it? I released it in, November. And I hate that I released it in November because when I did the planning for it, I didn't think about the big Alabama-Auburn game that was going on at the time when I planned it. So, of course, everybody's a diehard fans, we didn't get the turnout. I didn't get the turnout I wanted, which kind of discouraged me a little bit, but I actually used that as fuel to be like, all right, next one I do, it's going to be epic. And another little fun fact about Strange Fruit is I went into debt making Strange Fruit. A lot of people don't know that. I went into debt. A lot of money came out my pocket, of course, for Strange Fruit, recording time, buying the beats, different stuff like that, getting the track outs, all this stuff. I went into debt. It got to the point I had to go to one of those cash advance places, get money to finish funding Strange Fruit. So a lot of people don't know that I went into debt and had to recover from being in debt because I was working a dead-end job, making it. So
tell me, what's the average amount for a project usually starting off?
One, it depends on how many songs you want. Depends on who you're recording with, whether you record yourself, you're recording with someone else, what your budget wants to be behind it and stuff like that. It could be pretty cheap to pretty expensive, just depending on how epic you want it to make it
the quality.
sound. Yeah, the quality. Like, if you want something low end, you're not going to spend much, you know what I'm saying? You kind of design your own little cover art, stuff like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It might not run you a lot, but if you really want to be epic with it, like how I am with stuff, it's like, all right, cover art going to run you about 60, 70, you know what I'm saying? Getting the beat, and every time I get a beat, I'm trying to get the exclusive right to the beat, you know what I'm saying? If at the moment, if I get it, I can't get the exclusive, I get the unlimited right so I can work around with it. When I say, okay, I'm actually going to do some traction with it, I'll start talking with them for the exclusive rights.
Yeah.
But yeah, exclusive rights, that starts racking up prices. That could vary from $100 to $1,000, even higher than that. Like, to be honest, who gonna stop me trying to get the exclusive rights for that song?
Yeah.
Like, big producer, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's made stuff for other people. He wants some serious money for it, so I don't have the exclusives for it, but I do have the unlimited rights to use it however I want to use it. So hopefully with some more traction come, I can get the track like that, but it can get very expensive. Like, being an artist is not cheap. This is not a cheap hobby. A lot of people think, oh, okay, I'm going to rap, put on TikTok, then I can blow up overnight. Yeah, that's true. It's possible you could, but if you don't, you're going to be shelling out a lot of money unless you have a backing or supporting cast that's helping you and funding your stuff. But if they're not funding it, then you coming out of pocket for everything that you do.
Yeah. So tell me, what are some personal things that you would like your audience to know about your artistry?
My art, like I said, it's unique. That's the thing about it. That's the thing about my art. It's unique. Like I said, it's like Warhol. It's like Basquiat. It's gonna be unique. It's not gonna be the same. Every song I give you is not gonna sound the same like the last one. Every project I give you is not gonna sound the same like the last one. I'm not gonna sit and recreate another Strange Fruit. I could. I thought about it, but I'm not gonna sit and recreate a whole nother Strange Fruit. I'm not going to recreate a whole nother of this album that I worked on. You know what I'm saying? That's being an artist, and as an artist, those are your growths. You know, you can't grow trying to recreate the same sound, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
You're just going to be known as, okay, like, yeah, you can do that, but as artists, you have to grow. Like, show your art, show your growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Strange Fruit was Strange Fruit. That was that masterpiece. All right, now let's go paint another one. And we painted another one with this project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has, you look at it, you go, okay, Strange Fruit was, I don't know, like a Salvador Dali type thing. And then you look at this one's like, okay, this one's like, okay, Warhol, you know what I'm saying? Basquiat, you know? So, like, that's just me as an artist. Like, that's just the artistry of me. I'm not going to recreate the same thing. You know, you always going to get different variations of me. Like I said, whether it was the Who Gonna Stop Me, then we turned around and did, was it Hot Girl Summer? You know what I'm saying? That was different because it was like conscious, hype song, okay, club song. You did a club song. Yeah, that's part of being an artist. I took a risk trying it out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was like, yo, okay, like he did it. All right, cool. And then dropped some other stuff.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I know you say you didn't get the audience that you wanted when Strange Fruit first dropped, but I do feel like that project made an impact on your supporters. Just by being in the room, like, I know my experience with listening to it, it was very impactful. That was the first time that I think I heard an artist be vulnerable about their frustration with the things that were going on in the world with Black people.
Yeah.
So tell me, can you walk me through that process of just being open and being that vulnerable to expressing your frustrations with police brutality and things that were going on at that time?
Well, like I said, during that time, it was 2019, every time you turn the news on, you were seeing somebody Black getting shot, killed, something going on. We're protesting damn near every day. Every week you turned on the news, They're protesting about this. We're rioting about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were fed up, and I felt at the time we needed something new, like something to talk about, and nobody was doing it. And like I said, just every day you see that. I hate to say you get numb to it, but I was getting frustrated and numb to it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like I'm saying, I was like, okay, turn on the news. I already expect to see this happening. You know, so okay, he goes to the trial. Oh, he gets off. You know what I'm saying? He's not found guilty. Like, the frustration was building up, so it's just like I need to talk about this shit like right now. Like, so that's what, like I said, and then me going to the National Museum of Justice and Peace, seeing the names of people who were hung for nothing, just for being black, that pisses you off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we wake up, you got a target on your back and face every day. You know what I'm saying? Whether you know it or not, you could be, whether you're a gangster, not gangster, someone like me, you still have a target on your back just because your skin is black at the moment.
Absolutely.
So, like, I just was like fed up, and I was just like, somebody needs to talk about it. Somebody needs to do something. And of course, like I said, it's on the news so much, the world became numb to it. That's why when I dropped it, I feel like it didn't get the traction it needed because everybody was numb to it. But the traction it did get was not from the younger audience. It came more from like the older people who are open-minded. If you're not open-minded, you're not going to pick up. It's going to go over your head. And it's crazy now, it picks up traction. People listen to it. They go, yo, you was actually talking about this. Yep, that happened. You talking about that. Yep, that happened. It was like, damn, I almost predicted everything. But I was like, I'm telling y'all about it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, right before the riots at the Capitol, I was talking about it right there. And it's like, the message was there. Y'all just didn't listen. And now y'all listen. Y'all pick it up. Y'all like, oh, he was actually talking about it. Now we're open-minded because, you know, everybody want to do the conscious thing now. So, like, but that was the traction behind it. That's like, it needed to be done. Like, I didn't want to just keep, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the distraction. I feel like, you know, during the time, you know, I can't even think what dance was at the time. It was like, you know, distractions.
Yeah.
We needed a break from the distraction. Like, turn that shit off. We needed a break from the distraction. And that was me doing it. Of course, you know, Childish Gambino did it with So This Is America. You know, that was a little bit more inspiration behind it as well. But we needed a break from that distraction. And like I said, I was just me voicing how I felt about Trump being in office, everything else like that.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so tell me about that that downtime after Strange Fruit of you transitioning into the artist you are now. What are some things that you went through in that time period that made you want to go into your next album?
To be honest, like, once Strange Fruit was done, I had already was thinking, man, all right, let's do another album. Like, this album that I'm working on now was already in the mindset. Didn't have none of the songs written or nothing like that, of course. But it was already thought up here. I was like, all right, this next one I want to do is going to be epic. So I want to be able to, like, do something big. So, like, my thing was, like, I want to do something like space, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, synthwave, space, like, I was like, I want to have that the Warner Von Braun planetarium. I want to like play the music, the stars showing, everything else like that. I was already thinking outside the box. And I was just like, yo, that shit's going to be epic. Let me do it like that. And like I said, I just kept thinking on the idea and stuff like that. But I was also like, it's too soon to try to put out another album. Because one, you're still recovering from being in debt from it. So, you know what I'm saying? So I used that time. I was just like, okay, I feel like people didn't take me serious. So now I need something serious. That's when the Who Gonna Stop Me beat fell in my lap at that time. I was like, okay. I said, I heard the beat, listened to it. I wrote it probably a month after Strange Fruit dropped in December or something like that. So that was already written, ready. We didn't record it till like, March, April. But it was already like set. I was like, I need something like how when Jordan came back. I was just like, I need something like, I'm back. That was the I'm back statement track. And when people heard it, it was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that, they were like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, the way it came out, they were just like, it was hard. They had never heard nothing like it. They were like, you spitting like that? And they started to like look at me a little bit more. They ain't take me serious, but they started to look at me like, let's keep an eye on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got a little potential. He got a little traction behind. And of course, Who Gonna Stop Me? I ran into a few more artists and stuff like that. I actually like met more artists through that song and stuff like that. But that was, I guess, the start of everything else, the growth right there. I was just like, I need y'all to take me serious right now. So here it is. Who gonna stop me? I'm back. Like, let them know I'm back. Like, I can rap my ass off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else rapping that. Let me rap my ass off. And that's what I did on Who Gonna Stop Me. I rapped my ass off. And, like, the crazy thing about a lot of people listen to it, I be like, did you ever know there was no cussing in the song? People go, there really was no cussing in the song. I didn't cuss not once in that song. And people didn't realize because they're so used and trained to hearing profanity in a song. But that song was hard. And I didn't cuss in it. It was like almost a gospel song, gospel rap song, but I just labeled it more as just a rap hip hop song. But it's pretty much a gospel song. I perform it in church, of course, because people hear the God who gonna stop me and stuff like that. It's empowering. I made something that if you go to the gym, hey, this gets you amped up. You know what I'm saying? Like a UFC fighter walking out. You know what I'm saying? That's his theme song. Football team, that's their song. That was the start of. Let me start to try to make stuff that sounds, you know what I'm saying, like that you can use it at events and stuff like that. That was the start of it.
And that can also be motivational.
Oh yeah, it was damn sure motivational. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. What's my train of thought?
Are you good?
Tell me, okay, so you have experience performing in the city.
Yes.
Tell me, how has that been for you? How has that experience been for you? Just performing around Huntsville, and where are some places that you perform?
Performing around Huntsville is, like I said, it's definitely new because, like I said, back then you didn't have this kind of stuff. Like unless you was a big name performing at the clubs, small local artists like us, we weren't performing. They weren't doing showcases and stuff like that. So we were doing all of that and stuff like that. But yeah, like, so it's grown as time went on during that time and stuff like that. But performing here has like really opened some doors for me because like I met dope artists, I've networked with dope people and stuff like that. So like it's definitely opened a lot of doors, met people, and like just it's also helped me grow as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I've bettered myself. I've learned to better my talents, get better. Every time I get on stage, I'm trying to outdo myself like from the last time I did it.
So how do you prep for a performance? What are some things that you do?
One thing I do before a performance, like the week of something, I'll practice over it, whatever I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, I'll create a set list and be like, okay, I'm gonna start off the show with this song. We're gonna go to this one. DJ don't start this. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the crowd and do this. Like I perfect a whole set list, go over it, damn near rehearse how I'm gonna do it, what I'm gonna say. So when I get out there, it's almost robotic, but it's like it's perfect, and it's just like, yo, like this dude's professional. You know what I'm saying? The way it sounds and stuff like that. So I do that. I practice pretty much the whole week, and before any performance, I don't eat. I just drink straight water. I don't want to perform with a full stomach because I feel that's gonna make me sluggish, be moving around like that. I don't eat until after I perform. After that, I'm starving by then. I'm ready to eat, but until then, I don't eat at all. Like that's how I prep for it. I just starve myself because I'm like, go out there, leave it on the floor, give them hell and everything else like that.
From a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the importance of practicing your set? Because I know a lot of artists who feel like they don't have to practice or that it's not necessary. Do you feel like it's more of a preference thing, or do you feel like it should be necessary?
It's necessary because you might think you know your song. You get up there, you flub it in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Unless you know how to recover or say something that wasn't in the song, but it rhymed perfectly. People, of course, like, if they know the song, they might know, you know what I'm saying? But if they don't know it, you can kind of get away. But I always stress, practice your stuff, know your stuff. Because you get up there, that stage fright might hit you or something. You never know what might happen. You about to start rapping a verse from a whole different song. And that's not even that song. So always practice your stuff. Hell, I even go over it in the car on the way to the event, I'm going over the song. I'll rap it. Won't rap it too loud, nothing throw my voice out, but I'll rap it like, okay, boom. All right, we're going to get the energy here. We're going to do this like that. And then boom, we're just going to jump into it just like that. But it's very important to practice. I done seen people go up there, I guess, think they know their song, stuff like that. Of course, you know, rapping it and looking at it, two different things. That's why I always try to encourage artists. If you're going to be in the studio, there's nothing wrong with looking at your phone or whatever, rapping it, but try learning it and then rapping it without looking. It's a whole different feeling after that. Like, you're going to have more energy. It's almost like you rap your favorite song in the car. Like, you put that energy in it. You know it word for word, bar for bar like that. So do that with your own music so when you get out there, you're confident with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, because when you're looking at it, you're not memorizing. You just looking. So when you get up there, you ain't got your phone in your hand. Now you kind of just vulnerable out there. And let's just say that stage fright hit. And you out there doing the church person. Like, nah. Practice. Practice makes perfect. That's how you perfect yourself every time. It's going to show on stage.
How do you feel about performance tracks? Do you feel like those are necessary?
Yes, I do like performance tracks. I'm one person who hadn't experimented with it yet, but that's now about to be something I'm about to start working on. Like, working with performance tracks and stuff like that. I don't see anything wrong with your backing vocals. You know what I'm saying? Because depending on the song, you get hype or whatever, you might run out of breath at that moment, and then you need something to catch it real quick, and then let me jump back in.
I feel like as long as you know your song, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because some people, they depend on hearing themselves, and then they don't really know their words like they should. So it's like people are listening to the track.
Practice comes in. Yeah. If you don't know it, you just listen to it with your homeboys. We don't go up here and perform it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, do it without the performance tracks on there. You're going to be looking stuck. You're going to be out of breath. You're not going to remember stuff like that. I performed, so I'm having Cover Story 1. There was this event with Minister Fred. When I performed at his No More Dirty thing like that. He wanted me to come do Strange Fruit over there. I did it. And Cover Story 1, I didn't have a clean version to it. So I was like, we got to rap it with just the beat. And it wasn't a performance track. It was just the instrumental playing and me rapping it. But since I knew my material from practicing, I knew how it was supposed to go.
Yeah, it made it easier for you.
It made it easier. You know, so I don't depend on the vocals. It's just, I keep vocals in my background. So it's like, oh, ran out of breath right here. Let me get some air real quick. Oh, let me grab a water real quick. If it's possible, if there's a breakdown in the song where I can grab some water or something like that, let the background vocal pick me up real quick, and then I jump back in, full burst energy, just like that. But performance tracks, they are needed. If you're not comfortable with it yet, you know, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having the regular and then performance track. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people shun on it. It's hit or miss, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on how you use it for your advantage. Like,
yeah, I feel like as long as you know your song, that's the biggest thing for me. And people can tell what type of confidence you have on stage and if you know your stuff or not. And I just feel like professionally, it's just better if you know your song. You know, if it's your song, it's your song. Like you better know it. You better know how. You better know how to. If it's not your song, you better know how to deliver it like it's your song. I feel like. But yeah, so let's get into your new project.
Okay.
How I don't know how you do it.
This new project is different, of course. Like I said, you heard the whole thing in its entirety. A lot of people have just heard one song. They've been at the studio. They heard that one song, which is gonna be the single.
7 tracks, right?
7 tracks.
7 tracks.
7 strong tracks. It's art. It's straight art from start to finish. Like, as soon as you heard the first one, you was just like, that's only the first track. I was like, yeah, that's only the first track.
The first track really shocked me because, I don't know, it was different. It was like you had a different type of aggression towards your project. I don't know. It just seemed like when this one came around, you thought about it and you really wanted to go in.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I really enjoyed that because like I definitely enjoyed Strange Fruit, but it was, I don't know, it was different. It was more so like I'm coming out of something.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's go into detail about Rare Form, the first track.
Okay. Rare Form, man, like the opening track, Rare Form. The inspiration behind Rare Form actually came from an event at work.
Okay.
Talking with some coworkers and stuff like that. Of course, like I said, I've learned being at my job, my pages come across people at their job and they be like, "You rap?" You know what I'm saying? A lot of people tell me like, "You rap?" I'm like, "Yeah, I rap." It's like, yeah, like you rap? Like, yeah, I don't look like I rap. A lot of people look at me and go, "You don't look like you rap." I rap my ass off, and I do it very well. But there was a conversation at work, and I was talking to some coworkers. They were like, well, "How old are you?" I was like, "Just turned 30." They were like, "You still rapping?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 30 is supposed to be old. Like you ain't blown up by then. Hang it up. So, you know, they were kind of just like, hey, you might as well start doing, you know, jazz or something like that. So I was just like, okay. So I kind of took it to heart, but I used it as fuel to motivate me. So started. So I started like working on Rare Form. I was like, okay, let me talk about that. Let me detail this right here. So went home, started writing, and I talked about the whole incident, stuff like that. And I was just like, that was the inspiration behind it. Like, what I say, and I was like, they were like, ain't you 30 years old? You still rap, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's fuel to the fire. I'm tapped in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people, I felt like they were just laughing at me because it's just like, you too old to be rapping. You too old, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's young people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what age you are. Like, if you like music, do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let, you know what I'm saying? That's why I start off the track saying, you know, never let anyone tell you, you know, about, you know, stuff like that. Like, don't ever let people deter you from your dreams and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
and even if you aren't mainstream, that doesn't mean that you can't make it in music. Like, it's a lot of artists who are out here making hella money off of their streams, and you know they're not working 9 to 5s. You know, they sitting back chilling, doing what they love. So definitely, it doesn't matter what age you are. You definitely need to continue to push towards your passion. And music, I feel like, is the easiest passion.
Yeah, it's music. Like I said, is always a way for me to tell how I'm feeling without coming out and saying, I feel like this. So Rare Form was me talking about, I feel like this because they said that. They feel like I'm too old to do it. Nope, that's why I'm in Rare Form. I'm not even in my prime yet. I'm just getting started. That's how I feel. Like 30's new 20. Like, nah, I'm not even in my prime yet.
Yeah.
Like, and this album is showing it. It's just like, oh, you got plenty left in the tank. It ain't like you did Strange Fruit, you did Who Gonna Stop Me, everything else. And then, all right, you kind of lost it. You kind of declining a bit. Nah, I still got it.
Okay, so tell me about Scotty. Track
Scotty. Oh, man. Scotty, that song that's like the hard, no, well, yeah, it is the hardest song. Every time that played at the studio when people were there, they were like, hey, run that shit back. Hey, let me hear that one more time. Let me run that back. And like Scotty, we poured so many man hours into Scotty. Like the way we're trying to construct the beat, because our producer for 6 out of 7 songs on this project is Scotty Flames. He's based out of, I want to say, Atlanta or New Orleans. I've got kind of like not a collaboration with him, but more like I bought some of his stuff, like New Aristotle, that was his beat right there. Over, that was his beat right there. Catch Me, that was his beat right there. So I was just like, I've been working with Scotty quite a bit on some tracks. So I was like, I want to do a project, you know, with his stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Scotty was pretty much more of a thank you to him, because like I said, he produced 6 out of 7 on here. So Scotty was me saying, thank you, man, for just being who you are, doing what you do.
Nice.
But Scotty, man, like that, it takes like me and Zach at the studio to tell you how many times we've had to go back and edit that song. We've had to adjust the beat because at one point the bass was hitting so hard, the EQ levels was off the chart. We had to tone it down, because when I was listening to it, I was just like, beats kind of overlapping everything. We was turning up the vocals. It was still, what you call it, because that's how hard the beat is. And we finally, when I looked at the EQ stuff, we were like, all right, look at the numbers stuff. We were like, that's why. So we finally got it, but we poured in the most man hours with Scotty. Like,
nice.
That, and like, it's a nod to him. And when I sent that to Scotty Flames himself, he was like everybody else, like, the fuck is that? Like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a short song. It's like a minute and 51 seconds. It's a short song, but so much happens in that song. It's almost like a schizophrenic painting something. You know what I'm saying? It's just all over the place, but it's hitting so hard. And that's the best part about it. But Scotty is, we had the most fun making Scotty. We spent the most time making Scotty. I'd say probably that and Rare Form. Rare Form was, we started on it. It kind of was like, I was like, all right, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it eventually, you know what I'm saying? But Rare Form was, it was a process. It's almost like Kanye pour, what was it? I think he said 8,000 man hours into making Power. That's how I feel like we did with Scotty. We poured man hours into making that song great like it is. And that's why it's like, I'd say the best one. It's my favorite, but it's not my favorite. There's one song on there that tops that.
What's your favorite?
My favorite on there is Christ-like. It's the closer. We'll talk about Christ-like in a second.
Okay. So your next track 3, is Bipolar Flow.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Bipolar Flow. This was around the time, I wrote that around the time when Kanye West documentary came out, Genius, at the time. So that was the inspiration behind that. It was also kind of like a nod to like how like the way I start off rapping, and then when the beat hits, the way that my tone sounds in my voice, so it almost like a bipolar thing. It's like you calm, and then just damn, now you're upset all of a sudden, stuff like this. That was Bipolar Flow right there. That's the inspiration behind that. Genius. I definitely watched a lot of documentaries dealing with coats and stuff like that. So that was kind of the inspiration behind that song as well. But a lot of Kanye West motivation went behind that one at the time when we did Bipolar Flow.
Okay, Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. I think you said that was your favorite song.
I like Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. I wrote Hall of Fame. To be honest, I actually had like the start of the verse for probably about 3-4 months when I started off. You know, I was like, I should be placed in the Hall of Fame because I've been a guy like I'm Charlemagne. I always just had that part right there, and I was just like, I don't know what else to put after it. So I'm at the house. I was listening to the beat on the TV at the moment. Above the Rim was on. I was watching Above the Rim with Pac in it. So I was watching it, and I got inspired by watching that, and I was just writing as the movie was going on. I'm watching Pac and them go back, Marlon and them go back and forth, and like I just started constructing. That's why I threw that line in there with I'm above the rim like I'm Tupac. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I threw that in there. But Above the Rim was the inspiration behind it. Hall of Fame it's a braggadocious song. It's saying like I should be in the Hall of Fame. Like I ain't even been in the game 20, 30 years. Put me in there now because that's how confident I am in myself right there. It's pretty much like I said, it's a cocky, confident song. Like how Bipolar Flow is. It's cocky. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cocky. You know, I got that line on there. You know, if a chick don't like me, then she really must be a dyke. Like that. That's how confident and cocky I was saying it. With no, you know what I'm saying? Like no regard of, I don't care what you think after I said it. You know, you don't like me. You must be gay or something. You know, not knocking people's gay and stuff like that because I support gay people stuff, but it's just that's how I felt. Like, you know, like you want to talk? I don't know. Then what's wrong with you? So
you were talking your shit.
Every song I was talking my shit, literally.
Tell me about track 5.
T.E.L.A.H. T.E.L.A.H stands for the Evolutionary Level Above Human. This track right here was inspired by Heaven's Gate Code. Also watching Waco, Texas with Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff like that, which, I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer, David Koresh at the time, which I like David Koresh. You know, of course he was crazy, but like just watching David Koresh, just something about him. You know what I'm saying? He just this manic guy. But T.E.L.A.H, like I said, was based off of Heaven's Gate Code with Doe and T, Applewhite, and I can't think of the lady's name, but T.E.L.A.H pretty much talks about that. It's an out-of-body experience talking, you know what I'm saying? I referenced the Code the whole time in the song, you know, so if you really don't know about Heaven's Gate Code, you won't understand the song, but it's one of them songs like, if you get high or something like that and listen to it, you kind of have an out of body experience. You know, I talk about what Heaven's Gate, what they wanted to accomplish. They felt like the Hale-Bopp comet was going to come and it was supposed to take them to heaven and stuff like that. So they did the mass suicide and stuff like that and all of that. But I referenced that in there. I talk about T.E.L.A.H, which was Applewhite, and I can't think of her name at the moment. Like I said, I talk about Money at Real Time. It's a whole, it's a crazy track. You know, it's just out of body. You hear the beat and you just like ascending. It's just like, yo, this is crazy, you know? So,
okay.
But that's T.E.L.A.H, the evolutionary level above human. Right there.
Nice. So track 6 is Madness at 3 a.m. Tell me about that. I like that title.
Madness at 3 a.m. That beat was also made by Casamuete Beats. He's local. He's part of our Thunderdome's label. That's why I've been recording that at their studio. So, like, me and him, we cooked up that beat after we listened to some of the stuff like that. He was working on something, then he had, like, the murder melody going, and he was just playing it nonstop, and I was just like, yo, I sat down, like, what the hell are we working on? So I sat there and we started just adding stuff. One thing about me, I can't make a beat to save my life. But I can detail and go, add this here. Put the clap there.
Yeah, because it's very tedious.
It is very tedious, but I can hear it. I can damn near hear it in my head how I want it to go. I just have to now explain it to you, like, hey, add this right there. And I think this would be good. And that's how the beat came for that. The verse for it, I had that wrote down a while ago, and we added it to it. Madness at 3 a.m. It's pretty much, it's a deep song, like, because they always say, like, at 3 a.m. that's the witching hour. They say, like, that's the devil's hour and stuff like that. And I just really share my thoughts on Madness at 3 a.m. Like, there's times I'm up at 2, 3 in the morning, knowing I got work the next day, or I don't have work, and I'm just thinking. And I'm like, oh, I should have did this back then. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I did this person wrong or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've written some songs at that hour. I didn't write this song at that hour. Someone did ask me that. But, like, that's just a very deep song. You know what I'm saying? Like, just if you listen to it, you know, I'm just spilling my heart out on it. You know, like, just talking about previous things with exes and stuff like that. You know, friends, and, like, pretty much just saying, like, love somebody now and give them their flowers now, because, you know, tomorrow might be too late.
Absolutely. And that goes into track 7, which is Christ-like.
Christ-like.
So it follows.
My favorite song, Christ-like. Like, man, Christ-like was inspired by 2 months ago. I was in a hit and run accident. Could have been worse.
Wow.
You know, like, if I didn't divert it the best way I could have, we wouldn't even be sitting here talking right now. It's possible we might not be sitting here talking, or I could be paralyzed in the hospital. But Christ-like, which has now become my favorite song. Scotty made that beat, of course, right there. It was like a last minute, same thing with Madness at 3 a.m. It was a last minute addition. And I wrote that during, like, 4 days of dealing with anxiety at the house. Like, just being in the house, I was just like, I gotta write something. I gotta talk about it. I gotta get it off my chest. So I wrote Christ-like, and I talked about the accident, and just, I feel like sometimes, you know, like, was God mad at me at the moment? Was I doing something? And he was, like, trying to remind me, like, you know, I could just hit you just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wake up call. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm thankful that my mom prays for me, because sometimes I forget to pray for myself. If she probably don't pray for me, that, like I said, we wouldn't be sitting here talking. But, like, that song is deep. Like, that's why it's my favorite now, because, like, I just sit back, every time I hear it, I just go, like, man, like, you know, like, this is, I might not, the album would have been done, but I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
What you call it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think Christ-like was a wake-up song, and of course, it's a perfect way to end the album. It's a gospel rap song. It's just gospel. It's me having that one-on-one with God, talking about, you know, everything, the accident, you know what I'm saying? I know we live in the last days, and I know the devil been after me just near death and stuff like that. So that Christ-like was needed to close that out. That was me saying, all right, this is, I gave y'all my all and everything. I got to get personal with y'all real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because we take life for granted.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, we wake up every day and don't even think about, is this the last time I might open my eyes or something like that?
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm so glad you're still here with us.
Yeah, I'm glad too, because it's just like
we get to hear this project. I'm really excited about that. Could you let us know when you plan on releasing this project? What's your rollout plan?
Rollout plans December 10th.
Okay.
It's gonna be at the Black Umbrella Studios. We're gonna do it there.
Shout out to Black Umbrella
Shout
Studio.
out Black Umbrella Studios.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be December 10th at that event. Please come out, support, stuff like that. It's gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna be epic. Like,
nice.
Y'all think the Strange Fruit was, if you went to that, nah, this is better. And then the next event I do, gonna be 10 times better than this one. Like I said, next event, I don't know, I might come from a little sky crane descending down or so. I want to outdo myself every time. I had Kanye's floating stage. Give me a floating stage. Now, I want that. You know what I'm saying? I want to try to outdo myself every time. That's why I call it experiences. I give experiences every time I do a show. Every show is not gonna be different. Like Strange Fruit was an experience. It was audible. You listen with your heart, your ears. It was different. I had the clips on there that captured you. This one, an experience, is gonna be crazy. So that's when y'all hear it. Once y'all hear all the songs, talking about them is not enough. Once you hear them, y'all gonna be like, this was a whole experience. Rare form to Christ-like. We went through the ups and downs. So this man, it was a straight, but it's a dope project. It's a dope album. Like I said, December 10th is dropping. Like I said, support, get it, buy it. Like,
absolutely.
Yes, because this, like I said, that's why it's called T.E.L.A.H, the Evolutionary Level Above Human. That's the name of the album. It will be released that day. T.E.L.A.H.
December 10th. Can't wait.
10th.
So as we close this interview out, is there anything that you would like our listeners to know about you, or any announcements you need to make before we close out?
I'm keep working on music. Nothing major after this. Like I said, just stream the album. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Listen to it. Buy it. It's gonna be on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, anywhere that you listen to music and stuff like that. So
nice.
We plan on trying to shoot some videos for some of the songs on there and stuff like that. So, but nothing major planned. We'll see what 2023 has in store for me. It's gonna be more performances and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we're gonna do more performances. We're trying to get a little bit more out the city with them and stuff like that. Cost a little bit more money and stuff like that. But we're gonna try to do it big with this one though. We're gonna try to do it big for 2023.
Okay, well, there you have it. This is our interview with Pharaoh Saint. Shout out to you, and I can't wait to hear your project again at the release party. So, yeah, be sure to come out and let's celebrate.
Sounds good. Yes.